Welcome back, learners, to our interesting course based on the theme of rudimentary principles and practices of managerial economics. I am Dr. Shantanu Saurabh, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, DAV PG College, Banaras Hindu University. In the last lecture, we talked about the characteristics of managerial economics and other dimensions related to managerial economics. Now, in this module 1, lecture number 4, based on the topic managerial economics and Economist, we will be trying to cover 3 basic important topics, which will be features of decision making, role of managerial economist, and responsibilities of managerial economist. So, one by one, we will be covering all these 3 topics. So, the first topic, that is based on features of decision making. In the last lecture, we discussed the relevance of decision making and how a manager in any firm is involved in decision making. Decision making is one of the most vital job in any organization. If the right decision is taken at the right time, it can result into positive results for the firm, and if the wrong decision is taken, it can result in a negative way. So, these are the features of decision as you are able to see on the screen. The first, it should be goal oriented, means the decision should be in line with the goal. The second is different alternatives, which means you should be having numerous alternatives, and in decision making the best or the feasible alternative is being chosen by the manager. Third point is free to choose, which means the manager should be free to choose, and the fourth is judgmental or emotional basis, and the fifth is continuous process. So, one by one we will be taking all these 5 points. The first, features of decision making. The first is goal oriented. The decision making process should be goal oriented, means whatever goals the organization or the firm has, the decision should be in line with it, which means the manager should take such decisions which could cover the desired goals or objectives of the firm. So, the first feature was that the decision making should be goal oriented. The second is different alternatives, which means the decision should be taken from the different alternatives available to solve the problems of the firm, which means if any problem or any issue is there in the firm, there can be different solutions, and from those different solutions the manager should opt the best possible solution which can result in a positive way for the firm. Third is free to choose. The decision maker must have freedom to choose from the various alternatives without any pressure or bias, which means the manager should be free from any different kind of pressures or bias. He must be having freedom to take good or rational decision for the problem or the issue in the firm. The fourth point is judgmental or emotional basis. It is not mandatory that the decision taken should always be on rational basis. It may be judgmental or emotional basis, in which personal preference might be given priority, which means in decision making it is not a mandatory part that you should always be rational. Sometimes you can be judgmental or emotional, and on the basis of it you can take decisions for the firm, but the objective should be for the benefit of the firm. Next is continuous process. Decision making is a throughout continuous process. In all dimensions of firm, decision making plays a very vital or important role. So, these are 5 important features of decision making. First was it should be goal oriented. Second was different alternatives should be there, and the manager should be opting for the best possible alternative. The third one was free to choose. The manager must be having freedom to choose the alternative without any bias or any extra pressure. The fourth being judgmental or emotional basis. It is not mandatory that always the manager needs to be rational. Sometimes he can take decision based on judgmental or emotional basis. And next is continuous process. This decision making is a never stopping process. Whenever the activities run, the numerous decisions have to be taken by the manager. The next point, that is managerial economist and its role. So, managerial economists have become increasingly significant or important in the modern business landscape, which means in the modern market, as the scenario is changing from time to time, the managerial economist assists the managers or helps the managers in formulating various strategic plans and achieving predetermined targets of business, which means the managerial economist helps in formulating strategies and achieving the goals of the firm. A managerial economist is the one who holds a respected position within an organization as he possesses a strong theoretical background and analytical skills, which means a managerial economist is a very important person in a firm who holds a respectable or renowned position as he has good command on the subject and even he has important analytical skills required for the firm. By leveraging their expertise in business economics, they offer valuable insights or suggestions to top level management or people from an economic standpoint, which means based on their skills and experience, they are in a position to provide valuable insights or suggestions to the top management, based on which the top management can take relevant decisions for the firm on the basis of economic opinion or economic viewpoint. The primary responsibility of a managerial economist is not to take decisions but to analyze, draw conclusions and provide recommendations to policymakers, which means the final decision is not being taken by the managerial economist, but they provide suggestions, they do analysis, they draw conclusions, and finally they provide adequate recommendations to the policymakers, and at the final step the final decision is being taken by the policymaker or the important people in the firm. It is essential for them to have the autonomy to conduct thorough analysis, which means they should be getting proper autonomy to conduct analysis and possess a comprehensive understanding of the facts, which means they must be having freedom to conduct tests, to understand the market and provide facts to the respective firm. So altogether in this slide you are able to understand that a managerial economist is a very important person. Based on his skills and expertise, he provides recommendations to the respective policymakers and people involved in the management. Moving to the next slide, that is role of managerial economist. As you are able to see on the slide that there are basically 4 important roles, that is analysis of external factors, analysis of internal factors, providing economic intelligence and specific functions. So one by one we will be taking all these 4 roles. The role of managerial economist: one might imagine a firm as a boat in an unpredictable ocean, which means any firm is full of uncertainties. What will happen in the future, no one is aware of it. The risk of sinking exists at all times if the sailor, that is business economist of the boat, is inexperienced or underqualified, which means the business is full of uncertainties, and if the sailor or the managerial economist is not having good command, the ship can go in a negative way or can sink, even the business can respond in a negative way. So a managerial economist or a sailor both play a very important role. It is the managerial economist who decides, who provides recommendations to the respective authority, and based on that the final decision is being taken by the policy makers. So by providing accurate predictions at the right time, a business economist helps managers to become aware of the uncertainties that exist in business world, which means with the help of managerial economist, the organization or the firm can be aware the different kind of problems which might arise or the current problem, and trying to analyze it and trying to find a possible solution for it. The primary duty of managerial economist is to identify internal as well as external factors and provide management with recommendations accordingly regarding their impact and effect, so that right decisions can be made in the favor of the firm, which means an important duty or job of managerial economist is to predict or identify internal as well as external factors and provide recommendations for the problems related to it. So as I have said that internal and external factors are very important part of any firm. So one by one we will be discussing both of them. The first is analysis of external factors. Managers have no control over external elements which are referred to as the business environment, which means the external factors in which the managers have no role or they can't influence it, while external factors cannot be altered or changed. The management decisions can be adjusted accordingly. The external factors cannot be altered or changed, but the management decisions can be adjusted accordingly. So whatever are the external factors, it cannot be modified, but according to the position you need to change your strategy and take decisions accordingly. Key external factors include the trade cycle, national income, employment, government policy and international business trends, etc. The managerial economist offers precise and timely information to managers to enhance their effectiveness of decision making and future planning, which means external factors cannot be avoided, no one has control over it, but it can be understood by the manager, and according to it the policies can be framed by the respective organization. The next is analysis of internal factors. Internal factors are managed by the managers as these tasks are carried out within the firm, which means internal factors are within the firm, and the last external factors that we discussed was outside the firm, which is not in the control, but internal factors are within the firm and it can be controlled, also known as business operations. The responsibilities of managerial economist in decision making involve routine tasks such as setting prices, enhancing quality, selecting plant location, adjusting production levels, etc. The managerial economist role in internal management encompasses various aspects of firm production such as sales, pricing, inventory planning and other topics. So managerial economics in internal factors also provides suggestions to top level related to internal factors. As we have already talked, in external factor also the role of the managerial economist was to provide suggestion. Here also the role is same, but the concept is different. Internal factor, the factors within the firm are talked about. In the external factors, the factors outside the firm was talked about, which is uncontrollable. Next is providing economic intelligence. The business economists offer managers valuable insights into various aspects of economics, including competitive pricing, tax rate, import export duties, etc., which means the managerial economists provide suggestions or inputs related to various economic factors such as competitive pricing, tax rates, import export duty, etc. These professionals provide relevant information based on their expertise and knowledge in the field, which means based on the data they provide information according to their expertise and knowledge of the respective field. However, it is the managerial economist within each organization who plays a most crucial role in advising managers on all trade related matters, which means it is the role of a managerial economist to provide suggestions to different managers on the basis of their experience. With their comprehensive understanding of the unit's operation, both technical and financial, they are well equipped to provide guidance and support. So in the field of economic intelligence also, the business economist can play a very relevant role. They can help the managers to perform in a better way for their respective firm or organization. Next is specific functions. A business economist is also responsible for carrying out any specific task for managers, government officials, financial institutions and other entities, which means the economist is the person responsible for carrying out numerous tasks related to the managers of the firm, the government officials or peoples, financial institutions and other entities. They are required to offer their expert assistance or knowledge on range of matters as requested by respective authorities, which means whosoever is asking them for suggestions, based on their expertise, they provide their suggestions or assistance. So, the common function in this category are market research, sales forecasting, analysis of capital project, advice on foreign exchange, and suggestions on public relationship, which means through the market understanding or market research, they can help in understanding the market to the respective firm, they can help in forecasting of sales for the respective firm, they can help in analysis of capital projects, as capital projects are irreversible or one of the most important component for any firm. So, they can help in that also. They can provide important or respective advice on foreign exchange, that is forex, and suggestion on public relationship, which means the existence in the society and having contacts with other people. Now, the responsibilities of managerial economist. As you are able to see on the screen, these are 6 major responsibilities of managerial economist. First is accurate business plan and forecast. Second is reasonable profit on capital employed, wide contacts, economic intelligence to inform the management for errors, to make the status respectable in the firm. So, these are 6 important responsibilities of any managerial economist. One by one, we will be taking all these 6 points. Responsibilities of managerial economist. A managerial economist plays a crucial or important role in the contemporary business operations. By utilizing their skills and techniques, they assist the management of a company in making informed decisions and engaging in forward planning, which means planning for the future. The role of a business economist encompasses that of a business analyst and advisor, making it an integral component of modern business activities. So, it is the managerial economist is one of the most important person for any firm. The first responsibility of theirs is that the accurate business plan and forecast is done by them. The business economist plays a crucial or important role in assisting the management with the development of their business plan through forecasting the economic environment, which means the very important job they do is that they assist the important people or the policy makers with the development of business plan on which their business is going to focus, and forecast the demand or other factors for the economic environment in the future. This enables management to make informed decisions regarding the timing and the location of their specific actions, which means on the basis of action plan or business plan, they are able to understand at what time, at what place, what action needs to be taken. By interpreting national economic trends and industrial outlook, the business economist provides relevant insights to the firm, which means the business economist provides important insights or important information to the firm based on their analysis. Through concise and practical advice, the business economist guides top management or provides suggestion to the top management. In a partially controlled economy such as India, the business economist translates government intentions into business terms, which means it tries to, the managerial economist plays as a role where it tries to translate or to make the understand the government intentions to business people and convey industry reactions to suggest changes in government policy, which means they are involved with the government people also and in the policy framing. So, the first plan or the most important responsibility of managerial economist was to formulate accurate business plan and forecast accordingly. Reasonable profit on capital employed. The primarily or the most important goal of any business is to earn profit. As you must be aware, it is the duty of a business economist to contribute to enhancing the profit making ability of the organization. Nowadays, excessive profit can lead to various issues such as criticisms, government restrictions and regulations. Therefore, it is essential to focus on appropriate profit rather than excessive ones. Business economists should offer their services with the aim of achieving appropriate profit objectives, which means the managerial economist plays a very relevant role. They makes the organization understand the importance of appropriate profit rather than very maximum profit, how much profit the firm should earn. If the firm is earning excessive profit, it might face criticisms, even government restrictions and other problems. So the managerial economist suggests the appropriate profit for the firm. The next point is wide contacts. A business economist must possess an extensive network of connections in order to promptly deliver valuable economic insights to the managers, which means the managerial economist must be social in nature and he or she must be able to deliver economic insights to the manager. It is crucial for them to actively participate in both business as well as social committees or social responsibilities. Their effectiveness is gauged by their ability to swiftly acquire essential, intricate and confidential information, which means the managerial economist must be social in nature. He must be able to understand all the activities which are taking place in the society and must be passing on that necessary information to the respective people in the firm. So in this slide we have discussed about reasonable profit on capital employed and wide contacts. Next is economic intelligence. The business economist offers general intelligence services to the management by providing economic information of general interest, enabling them to engage in meaningful discussions during conferences or seminars, which means the managerial economist also plays a very relevant role in providing economic intelligence or information to the firm or the respective people. Additionally, the business economist gathers or collects the necessary facts or figures to assist or help in preparing the firm's annual report, which means even the managerial economist tries to provide relevant or important data for preparation of annual report by the firm. These data are meticulously collected by the business economist who possess a deep understanding of the literature or the subject related to business activities. So altogether in business intelligence also the managerial economist plays a very relevant or a important role. The next is to inform the management for errors. As you know, in any entity of the world there are chances of error. So same goes with any business. So it is imperative for the business economist to promptly notify the manager for any identified errors, which means if the manager or if the economist is able to identify any errors, he or she shall be reporting it to the respective bodies. This will enable the manager to rectify their mistakes or to solve their mistakes in the decision making process. A business economist must not delay in communicating the errors and should work closely with the managers to correct them swiftly or promptly, which means whenever the manager or the economist find any errors, immediately he or she shall be reporting it to the respective bodies so that there is no impact of it on the firm or the impact can be minimized. Failures to address the errors promptly may compromise the accuracy of future decisions in the long term, which means if you fail to recognize the errors, it might result in a negative way for the firm and the policies and the future decisions can be affected because of it. So in this slide we have discussed about economic intelligence and to inform the management for errors or identification of errors. The next point is to make the status respectable in the firm. A business economist plays a very crucial or important role in decision making and strategic planning within a company. In order to effectively contribute to the business team, the economist must demonstrate the ability to communicate clearly and ensure that his recommendations are well received. Additionally, the economist should be willing or ready to take on special projects, stay informed about the industry trends or changes while maintaining a national perspective. It is evident that business economists can establish themselves as very important or valuable members of the management team by fulfilling their duties diligently, which means the managerial economist is one of the most respected and important designation for any firm, and his or her suggestions should be given importance, and based on the recommendations the firm should be moving forward towards achieving the objectives for respective firms. So that was all for this session. I'll just provide a brief gist whatever we have discussed in this lecture. We have discussed 3 topics, that was features of decision making, role of managerial economist, and responsibilities of managerial economist. We first of all discussed all these features that of decision making, that it should be goal oriented, that decision should be taken in such a manner that it covers or completes the goal of the firm. Different alternatives should be there, and based on the alternatives, the best alternative must be opted. There must be freedom to choose between the alternatives. There should be no external force, there should be no external pressure on the managers. Judgmental or emotional basis can be applied, and it is a continuous process, which means at different walks of any firm, decision making is required. It is altogether a continuous process which never stops. So these are the 5 features. We discussed all these one by one. Then I discussed with you the role of managerial economist. It plays a very important role. It provides suggestion or valuable insights based on which the policy makers or the strategy makers take the final decisions. They provide suggestions on the basis of analysis and understanding of the market. Then I discussed with you the role of managerial economist. The role of managerial economist in analysis of external factors, internal factors I discussed with you, providing economic intelligence and specific function. In external factors, we discussed the factors which are external, that is outside the boundaries of the firm. In internal factors, we discussed the factors within the firm. Then we talked about providing economic intelligence or information which is very beneficial for the firm, based on which the policy makers or the strategy makers can take important decisions. And then we talked about specific functions, in which we talked about market research, sales forecasting, analysis of capital projects, advice on foreign exchange, and suggestion on public relationship. And then finally we talked about responsibility of managerial economist, in which we talked about 6 points: accurate business plan and forecasting, reasonable profit on capital employed, wide contacts, economic intelligence to inform the managers for errors to make the status respectable in the firm. In first we talked about how the business plan is being prepared and how forecasting is done by managerial economists. Forecasting acts as a very important tool for any firm to make strategies. Then we talked about reasonable profit should be earned by the firm, not excess profit should be earned, and the negative side of excess profit was being discussed. Then I discussed with you the role of contacts. The managerial economist must be social in nature and must be having all the information of within the firm as well as the factors which affect outside the firm, and passing on the information to the respective people. Then economic intelligence, and then informing the management about any errors or any mistakes. As and when the mistakes happen, the mistakes should be reported to the respective people so that it might be sorted and the negative impact of it is not on the firm. And finally, the managerial economist has a respectable or important image in the firm, as he or she provides valuable or important insights related to the firm. So that's all from my end. In this session, I tried to provide you about the role of decision making, the role of managerial economist, and other parameters. In the upcoming lectures, we will be discussing other factors related to managerial economics and roles. Hope to see you in the upcoming session. Thank you.